Hi, welcome back to Vegan Finds. Um, Today, in continuing with the Super Bowl themed snacks, I'm going to be making some crabless vegan crab cakes. So, um, basically, these are pretty easy to make. You use marinated artichoke hearts, some celery, some shallots, and a few other items. And I will start by showing you how this works. Okay, so right here I have one of the marinated artichoke, actually two of the parts of the marinated artichoke hearts, and they come obviously cleaned and what have you, but there's always this thicker outer leaf that you should remove. I usually just pop them in my mouth and eat them, and when you're going to cut this and put this into the bowl, basically you want to slice this way, so you're slicing lengthwise to kind of simulate what crab might look like. This tail end piece, you can cut that off and leave bits of it whole, a little bit chunky, and that'll give you a good simulation as to what a real crab cake would be like. I've already got 2 cups of the artichoke hearts sliced up and ready to go in the bowl. I'm just gonna give it a little smush there as well, throw it into my bowl. And the other thing I wanted to show is you're gonna have to add shallot as well as celery. So in the celery, I cut it really thin like that, and then I basically cut it again. You don't have to do it, but it's easier to make these fine cuts. Try not to slice your fingers, and then turn it sideways, and you can get a really nice fine dice out of this. And that can go in. I'm going to finish this off real quick. Normally I do this standing. I'm sitting right now, which is a little bit awkward, but here's my little container, and I have in here a 1/4 cup of shallot that's been minced the same size, and you can see how small it is. It's smaller than a fingertip there, fingernail. So it's really tiny dice. Put that into your bowl. Right here I already have a bowl of pre-chopped artichoke hearts, so I'm going to just dump that in like that. Get every last bit. Into that I have 1 tablespoon of Old Bay. Now you don't need that much Old Bay, but we have quite a few Old Bay fans here. If you're not familiar with Old Bay, this is what the can looks like. Very prominent on the shelves. It's traditional Maryland's crab spice. It's what they put in all their crab boils, and it's really tasty. And there's 2 teaspoons of coconut sugar in this as well. That's going to go into this bowl with the artichokes. I'm going to add a 1/2 cup of chickpea flour and a tablespoon of, actually we'll call it a teaspoon or 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. I just need to check and make sure that's what I'm supposed to be doing. And we'll mix this up so we can get it ready to form crab cake patties. Okay, so in the bowl we have the sliced up artichokes, the shallots, the celery, and the spices. So the Old Bay seasoning plus the 2 teaspoons of coconut sugar. Now I'm going to add into it 1/2 cup of chickpea flour plus half a teaspoon of ground black pepper. So that goes in there as well. And to this, we're going to add a teaspoon of fresh squeezed lemon juice. So what we're going to do is basically mix this all up into a nice kind of I don't want to say batter, but it'll be all uniform and enough to make a basic crab cake style patty out of this. And I'll be back in a moment to show you that as well as start the cooking process. Okay, so I'm just going to mix this up to get it ready for making into basically a crab cake for you. So the flour has been fully incorporated. This is chickpea flour. We use chickpea flour for a lot of things. One, because it's gluten-free, and my wife is gluten-free, so that's important. And basically, since I'm going to make slider-sized crab cakes, you can make them bigger. I'm going to use a quarter cup measure. And just take a little scoop out, and basically pat it all together. You can see it right there. Put it down, and it's going to be ready for the breading process. So I'm going to make these. I'll be back when they're ready to be breaded and put into the frying pan. Okay, so I've made the crab cake patties, and now they're ready to be breaded. In this bowl I have chickpea flour, almond milk, and gluten-free breadcrumbs. These are 4C. They're plain. I suggest you use the plain because these have a fair bit of flavor to them already. So into the chickpea flour it goes. Get it nice and coated there. Then into the almond milk it goes. And then into the breadcrumbs. And I find that kind of swishing it around like that makes it easier to bread. And then kind of give it a final little squeeze. If you find that your mix is too wet, you can always add more chickpea flour to it. I'm going to bread up all of these, and then I'm going to show you how to fry them up. So just give me a moment and I'll be right back. Okay, so we have the oil heating up right now. It's sizzling, I'm guessing. Yep, it looks just about ready to go. I'll throw in a couple crumbs just to make sure. Oh yeah, it's definitely ready to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to gently lay a couple of these guys into the pan. The oil should be probably around 350. And they should take a couple minutes to cook. I'm going to smush these down a little bit. And you want them nice and golden brown. You don't want to overcrowd the pan. Normally I would do this in a cast iron pan, but our cast iron pan is currently indisposed at the moment and needs to be cleaned off. So we'll just cook these up, let them go for a few minutes, and while I'm cooking these up, I will start the process of making the horseradish dill aioli, which will be the accompaniment to these crab cakes. Let's see how they're doing on them. Yeah, they still need a little bit. So I'll be back when these are done. Okay, so we are just about to the end of the cooking process with the vegan crab cakes. And just take a quick look. They're almost finished. This one I'm pretty sure. Yep, this one here is finished. So we got a total of 8 out of the batch. This one just needs a little bit more time. So while that's cooking over here, I'm going to do a quick little horseradish aioli, and it'll take no time to make, and it's quite delicious with this particular thing. So I have right now, don't normally do this, but 3/4 of a cup of mayonnaise. I have some chopped dill and also some fresh ground horseradish. That's going into the bowl with the mayonnaise. And this is vegan mayonnaise. I need to point that out. It's either from Just Mayo or Hellmann's now makes a vegan mayonnaise. Fabinace, which makes a mayonnaise. Then there's Vegenaise as well. So there are a bunch of vegan options out there. And in our trusty little shot glass is some lemon juice, which I'm going to put to taste. So I'm not going to put the whole thing in. I'm going to mix it up, and then we'll be ready to go with the final product. Okay, so now I've got all the ingredients in the bowl. I'm just going to give it a quick mix around, kind of like that. I'm going to take a little taste. It's good. Could use a little more horseradish, but that's more of my thing. Just do it to taste. Plating it up. It's pretty simple. Crab cake, aioli, and you're done. So, if you enjoyed this recipe, hit the subscribe, like, and that little bell, which will give you notifications when we make a new recipe. And enjoy these. And visit us at our Facebook page, which is Vegan Fine at Facebook, as well as the Instagram, Twitter, you name it. Please follow us. Tell us what you think. Thank you.